Well, hello there, YouTube, and welcome to what's starting out as a rainy Tuesday the 14th of April. I think it's supposed to rain all day today, or at least most of it. But anyway, the dogs are doing Sasha's on the runner on the porch, Leo's old runner, and Andy's inside, and Chrissy just swaps them around because dingbat Sasha will not go into her doghouse. Annie has no problem. She just goes right into hers, but she'll just sit here and whimper and get soaking wet. She's a knucklehead. But anyway, welcome to the day, and let's head down to the Southland. Oh, come on along. 47 degrees and mostly cloudy, and rained more than half of the way here.
Yeah, doing the misty rain.
And then it just stopped, and everything's all nice and dry.
I vote for dry.
Yeah, we like the dry.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Mama, we made it to Tuesday.
We did.
Holy moly. Let's go in there and bust her out, shall we?
All right.
All right.
Like a plan.
Have yourself a wonderful day there, little woman.
Hop, hop.
All right, love you. See you, bye.
I love you.
Bye now.
Bye.
So now's where the real fun begins. So one of the projects here is they're no longer using CB radios. They got some other technology that I'm surprised. I used to bug them that there was different things, but this is, I don't know how this thing works, but I guess it's fantastic. So CB radios are not being used anymore. So everything related to that, including the antenna, which is all routed all the way through the back. I'll probably have to knock the tailpiece loose to get that wiring out, because it's a pretty large connector. It's almost automotive style looking stuff, which I guess that's what they use for antennas. So all that's coming off, and she had as soon as she took off out of Ontario, she had a battery issue. So she searched and found a Can-Am dealer that had a platinum Spyder Tech. It was Malcolm Smith Motorsports. I'm not sure. I'm assuming somewhere north of Ontario, because I would imagine that's the direction she was going, but I'm not sure. But anyway, the technician there, I guess the place was fantastic. Everybody was very professional and helpful, and anyway, suggested to, there was which I thought that was kind of weird too, but I don't know what all was put on here, because I didn't wire this thing up. He was that was James. He's out there with the Rikers. These are ones we got back from the school. There's like 4 of them, I think. Well, they swapped the desk post out. So what you do with the Rikers, it's a non-programmable key. It's a green key, and it's a non-programmable, so you can literally put the key in any of the keys in any of the training Rikers, and it's a speed limited or a training mode desk post and key. So now he's taken the new ones that they took out of the training bikes, because they swapped from the existing training bikes, just swapped over those training desk posts and key. It's like a snowmobile. It's got the little bubble. You know how the Rikers are. It's not a key you stick in. It's a key you pop on. So he's taking the ones out of the new bikes they just got, and putting them in the old bikes we took in, and he has to program the programmable desk post and key. Actually, it's the key you're programming. It's literally reading a sensor that's inside the key that puts off a code. And that code it's unique between it. It's not like keys where, there's only so many numbers and then you can find a duplicate of it. You ever walked up? I literally, what was that? It was an 86 Honda Civic 4-door. And we're still living in Portland. And I went into, I don't know, it was a Circuit City or one of those tech stores or whatever there in Portland, and I go walking out, and I jump in. It was at the Clackamas Town Center Mall. We lived in Southeast Portland. And I jump in the car. And as soon as I get in here, it smells funny. And I unlocked the car, stuck the key in the ignition, and started the car. And I'm about to drop the thing in reverse to back out of the parking spot. And I go, what the heck? There's like these little feathery things hanging off the mirror. And I'm going, am I losing my mind? That was not here. You know, it'd be something Kelly would do, you know. That was not there when I drove here. And it's got this very perfumey smell. And I look around, it's just little girly stuff all over the place. I jumped in some gal's identical Honda Civic and was about to drive off with it. And I got out and looked over, and I was there was 2 cars. So I guess I was 2 cars down, 3rd car down, whatever. There was 2 cars in between, my car sitting there and that car sitting there. And she could have come out and done the same thing. You know, and I've told that story before. And it's crazy how many people have done the same thing. It's crazy. But yeah, what a shocker. I mean, I probably turned 2 shades of red. I'm just like, I just about stole somebody's car. So I pull back up, jump out, you know, lock the car. They didn't have electric locks back then. You just locked them with your key. And anyway, locked the car and went over to mine and drove home. Didn't smell as good either. We got that thing because we were popping out kids like it was you know, popcorn out of a popcorn maker, you know. Till we figured out what was causing that. Took us a while. But no regrets, none whatsoever. Absolutely. Never for a moment. Never, ever for a moment. Kelly had that, what do you call that thing when you go through that deep depression after you have a kid? Well, when she had Kyle, which is the older of the 2 boys, you guys met him. He was there at the Easter thing too. Anyway, after she had him, she went through the deepest depression, had no idea what it was. I remember it was weird. You know, she didn't know who to do. She didn't go to talk. And finally, it just went away. And then when Ryan come about, she's like freaking out that the same thing was going to happen. And she actually had it for just a little. I'm flipping high beam switches over here. She had it a little bit, but nothing like with Kyle. And we later figured out what it was. Forget what it's called, but yeah, it's a serious thing. And she still talks about it. She don't talk about it around Kyle. You don't want him to think something weird or anything that he caused her any grief or anything. It was just a thing that happens in life, and your system gets all janky or something. But you know, we had Ashley, the first one in '86, and we had a little Honda Civic, little 2-door coupe, little hatchback thing it was. And as soon as we got her, it was just such a pain getting her in and out of the child seat thing in the back. And so we got the 4-door. It was just much easier, you know, and it's just easier all around. And we thought, in case we have more kids, well, we didn't have another kid for 3 years. So and then we had Christy, which you guys have met. That's Ray Lynn's mom, and Eli and Lucas. And we had her, and then literally a year apart. It was 89, well, almost, they were a little bit spread. It was 89, 90, and 92. So, yeah, there was a little gap between the 2, Kyle and Ryan. I think probably because of, you know, whatever it was, there's a term for it. I'm sure before I even look it up, you guys are already screaming the answer in the comments there. But anyway, lots of wiring. But what I was about to say is that technician was concerned that there was too many non-keyed items running off of the battery. And I think I had to replace the battery on this thing once, or I did something to it. And I remember, I was like, oh, that's a lot of stuff. But she's got a lot of things on here. There's lights everywhere, and one of her concerns too. This is a converter that goes from 12 to 5 volts. She said that thing stopped working. That's a really nice little setup, how it sits up there. But you know, the bad thing about these things is they're not waterproof, and sometimes I just see them get corroded or whatever. But I need to verify that thing's getting voltage, or maybe it's got a fuse down here that blew or something. I'm gonna have to do a whole lot of diving around. And I do, as you can see, there's fuses everywhere, just stacked in there. So all this stuff is fused near the power source, which is perfect. You want it being right by the power source. The craziest thing, those trailer hitches. all this stuff is sharp in here. You got to be very careful how you route things. It's not like these things vibrate, but they move. You know, and things can get shorted out and cause some horrible things if you don't have the fuse as near to the power source as possible. It's the craziest thing. That thing routes all the way through the bike, and it's like way back in the back here is where the fuse is. And I think I wired one of those things. I said, I'm not doing another one. Those things scare me. Plus, you know, I don't know, the whole thing just seems janky to me. Where the BRP one just, you know, taps in. It's all very professional. It's like it was built to come that way. It costs a little bit more, but you're getting a whole lot more. Wait till you go to change a tire on one of those aftermarket ones. Crazy. And some people go, well, you just unbolt the hitch and you can adjust your belt. Yeah, I don't care about that. It's no big deal because it has its own axle. I mean, you just take one cotter pin and slide it out, and knock the hitch off the back, and then it's normal, like it doesn't have a trailer hitch. It's added on it, not made into it. So I was going to talk to you for a second, and I was going to take a break. Get me some Swiss Miss and sugar-free cocoa up there and talk to the boys. So, yeah. The one thing, it's easier to remove something than it is to install it, because you got to take your time. Cable did all this, and yeah, it did a very neat job. But need to ask him, did you have the fairing off of this to do that? Because there's some stuff tucked in there and zip tied that looks like it'd be hard to do with the fairing on it. And taking the fairing off of these things is just a pain in the butt. But if that's what needs to be done, that's what needs to be done. The older style, or just probably because I did it so much. But it's definitely way more difficult. And the way the cables and everything route through there, you know, for the front trunk release and the park brake. When you have the steering locked, it locks the glove box. In fact, that thing had popped out. It was when I pulled his center console out, something went boing, and the cable this is the cable for the lock. So, and I can see all this stuff is all related to the CB radio. And all this stuff is necking up and going up into it. So, got some tinkering to do. I'm gonna take a little breather from it here, which I already did because I'm talking to you guys. But we'll get back to it. Okay, so this is a little fun. There's no problems with it. Just, you know, I didn't know how he wired it, so it was kind of fun figuring this out. I like to put the heated gear. What is that going to? Well, that's going to the LED lights. I like the heated gear going to this key switch thing that was for this is literally where you plug the Garmin in on these things. So this was going all the way to the battery. So I'm gonna switch that to a keyed hot. And she says it wasn't charging. So I got its battery over there. I'll put her Garmin. What'd I do with her Garmin? Oh, it's right there. I'll just plug it in, make sure it's working. I don't know if we just need to make sure it's gone. I have seen where these, the little Garmin converter boxes fail on there. And I think it's a piece you can easily replace. So I need to figure out where that's at. So I'm going to be down to, this is her phone cord up at the top that I showed you earlier, right here, that little brick I was showing you earlier. And it had a blown fuse. What was that thing? It's a 5 amp. Oh Jesus, a 2 amp. Now that thing wouldn't take any load at all. So the fuse is bad there. And then this is for the heated riding gear. I usually put it in a different, pardon me, for the heated gear. Normally I don't see cords that are that long. So I run them, and you gotta take the battery out. I run them off the post. I modify them so they just come up, but I haven't seen a cord that long. All this is loose is because of all the other things I've disconnected. But I'll make sure it's routed good, and it's fused right by the box there, or the battery. And she wants it. This was going to her husband, and he's not riding with her that much anymore, so she wants it just a single cord going to up front for herself, because she was having to dig it out of the back to make it work, and it was too short. So I've already moved all that. I took all that apart, got the CB antenna all out, the mount and everything's off, and the box, which was, man, that cable must have some small hands. I don't know how he got in there and tied zip ties where he tied them, because I had a heck of a time getting in there to cut them. So this is this was a key. This is a trigger for a keyed hot, and that was actually running off of where I normally put the heated gear. So I'll get replaced with this. This will get replaced with it. The Garmin. That's a keyed hot, and this is the power wire. All these things will go into the battery. So like I say, the only thing going to the battery will be her phone with a close fuse and the heated gear with a close fuse. And I'll come up with a way of tagging those things. That way, if you blow a fuse, you just need to pull your battery cover off and find the fuse that's going to, whatever component. Which in this one's only going to be the heated gear and the USB phone port that's up on the handlebar. I got all you can see that all got cleaned up. Got all those out and clipped those back in. Got all that nice and done. But I just cleared up all kinds of stuff, because that CB antenna thing, good lord, you probably put that thing on a semi truck or whatever. That cable was long. So I'm getting towards the end here, and then she wants an inspection. I don't know how long it's been since it just says an inspection on it. So I don't know if it needs oil or anything like that. I haven't done any surface type items on it. Just got all that stuff gutted out, and she's pretty near time to go to the reinstall. And I think she was the first one or second one I put one of those horns. That sucker is loud. You got to bark to her. But it's all the body work you got to take off to get in there and do this thing. Man, down there in California, it must have been a dry area. Her cables for her saddlebags were a little loose. You had to, kind of hold the arm and kind of bump the lid to make it open. You just need to adjust the cables. They're underneath here. You can get to the adjusters. And anyway, both sides reach in here. Whoo, all kinds of spider webs and stuff in there. They probably have black widows down there in California, or some other poisonous spider down in those dry areas. I don't know. Look at the cobweb right there in the air box. We generally don't get these kind of things around here. You can put it in an old barn. We have brown recluses around here, and that's a scary enough one as it is. Definitely. We had them things, I remember in Texas, them them things that grew pretty big. I've had some experiences with them. Never been stung. I have been stung or bit, as maybe. They got little fangs, so it's like being snake bit. They get, when I was a young kid in Texas, I got bit by a black widow. That wasn't good. And this is, I think I already showed you, that's a converter for her phone charger. Everything's all loose because I had to. Yeah, just that's only part of it. The other ones are in the other side. Zip tie after zip tie after zip tie after zip tie. Cable did a really good job. It's very neat, very organized. I still question how he got his hands in there to put some zip ties down around this framework and stuff down in there. I'm thinking he may have taken the fairing off and taken the air box out of the way like he was going to do, a 28K and replace the spark plugs, because that would have really opened things up in there. He almost had to, because trying to get things past the DPS, the dynamic power steering box, because they sit higher. He used to be real low and funky. And thankfully, that left room so that you can put the VCM and look at the bleeder screw right there, dead center of the camera. It's so nice. The old ones. I mean, you literally reach your hand in there with a 12 millimeter wrench and your little sucker hose and bleed her out. Them other ones were a nightmare. And these, I forget when they switched to this, that style. I don't know. I know 2020 and newer are, which is a good thing. That's where they're at, because I sure have done more brake fluid flushes on these things than ever before. So I did get another response, and the guy just kind of reiterated that, the bikes are basically where they needed to be. If you'd have caught it much earlier, even though I said we've seen them with lower miles, it wasn't me. I just heard of it after the fact, didn't file a claim or a case or anything like that. He said, so, if you come across any more, please send pictures in a case and a pictures so you can keep an eye on it. And they do have some guys looking into it. So, they're really not going to do anything about the first two. They're so close to the interval. And this one is too. And they're not going to do anything about it. You can't, if they found a problem, but they just haven't had, nobody's reported them. I am literally the only person that's reported them. Although I swear I've seen a thing in the dealer forum where people were talking about it, but I can't find any evidence of it. So I might have been stupid and, poked into one of those, forums that I try to stay out of. The only time if I'm looking for something, I'll ask a question. It happens to someone answered it on a forum, and I'll look with very, very open eyes. And a lot of times I just nod and bounce out. But anyway. Well, I'll be doggone. Why have I not noticed that? That's where the starter relay is on these things. Well, that's nice to know. That's a whole lot easier than what they ever were before. That thing just sitting there all happy as you please. Well, I'll be a son of a gun. But anyway, I would just never have starter relay problems with these things. Only time I'm in this area is taking the battery out, put it back in. But those older ones, all these hoses, they went all over the place, and it was buried way in the back, and you couldn't get to it. And it was arranged a little different, and you could not get a wrench in there. You fought that thing. I mean, you literally learned a very nasty new vocabulary by the time you got done. Every time you flushed the brakes on one of those old ones. And you can't charge any more time, because that's what they say it takes. The same as one of these. These, the time is legit. The old ones, not even close. Especially even the rear caliper, you couldn't get in there to get that screw. I won't even go into that nightmare. Luckily, don't see those things anymore. The old pre-13 ones with some kind of proprietary brake system they had on there. The ones that when you back up, the rear caliper goes wah, wah. And you guys have been around spiders for a while, you know what I'm talking about. Anyway, I made this video long. I'm gonna bounce out. Yeah, it's not too terribly far. About an hour and 10 minutes. I'll be heading on, so I'm gonna roll out on this. Well, hello there, YouTube. It absolutely downpoured. Danny's barking the thing there. He goes, I don't want to stand in the rain. I'm telling you, hurry up. I'm gonna go inside or something. Man, it absolutely poured the whole way home.
Pouring. It's just nasty as all get out.
Didn't get any wear on the tires. I think we floated on top of the pavement most of the time.
Pretty sure we did.
Wow. We stopped for gas. For some reason, the wind whips through GCs.
Oh, I know it. You just sit there.
It's crazy. You can stand there, no wind, and it just flies through there. You just
yeah. And you're crazy. Just wearing a little vest, nothing on your arms.
It's like 46 or something out here. It could be 26 is what it feels like with the wind and the rain and everything. Well, Mama, let's roll out and try to get us...
Make a run for...
Yeah. Run for the border. Crazy.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much for watching. We really do appreciate it. We will talk to you tomorrow. Same Smoak time, same Smoak channel. Give a thumbs up. You guys have a wonderful Wednesday or Thursday.
You can even hear us through all the pounding on the roof. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Mother Nature's angry this afternoon.
It's going to get wet.
Yeah, definitely going to get wet.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's go tackle it.
All right.
Okay. Appreciate you guys watching now. Bye-bye.